Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I'm going to talk about another attribute of the virtuous. And remember, these are female energies, this feminine energy that comes through both men and women. And this is, again, we all carry all of these. But this particular quality or ability is known as Smrithi in Sanskrit. And so Smrithi has a couple of different aspects to it that I'd like to explain to you today about memory. And this memory is what we're going to chat about in this video or discuss or learn. And this first quotation that I wanted to share with you is by Cicero. And this quotation says, "Memory is the treasury and guardian of all things." Memory is the treasury and guardian of all things. Now, how beautiful is that? It's this treasury that we hold, right? Which is so beautiful in certain aspects. Because again, when we're holding this treasury of memory, it can be for really wonderful things and really not wonderful things. And even that sense of duality is part of the mind's games, right? So of course we can know that some things are just facts as memories, right? So we can say that there's two parts of Smrithi and this memory. The first aspect is recall, right? So recall is very much about facts. So when people are studying for an exam and it's all these really detailed bits of information that you just have to memorize to then do well on an exam, that's recall. That's one aspect of memory. Another aspect of memory is retention. So retention doesn't mean that things are remembered word for word, but the retention of I know this, right? This is an awareness I have, or this is a memory I have that I'm holding. I'm not nitpicking through all the little details of it. And this is how it made me feel, and this is why it makes it not so good, and this is why this is so terrible, or anything like that. But let's say it's even the opposite extreme where we can say, this is so wonderful, and this is so beautiful, and this is why that was such a better time. And memory is always about the past. Don't remember, or don't forget. Don't remember the things that you might want to forget, right? Which brings me to this quotation, which I thought was very fitting. This quotation is by Michel de Montaigne, and it says, or maybe it's Michel de Montaigne, and this quotation says, "Nothing fixes a thing so intensely in the memory as the wish to forget it." Nothing fixes a thing so intensely in the memory as the wish to forget it. And as you know, I work with grief recovery. And so often something not so good happens in someone's life. So whether a person passes away, whether a relationship breaks up, anything that has that heavy component to it, most people so wish to lose that heavy component. And that heavy component comes from the memory of something that was not so good associated with it, right? And then there's fact. So remember that with fact, there's not good, not bad. It's just literally, it's just fact. So that's the space of truth. Now remember, we would all have friends that have really great memories, right? And then we've got friends that really don't have such great memories, that even if you tell them something yesterday, they don't remember it today. And we do know about brain health and how with certain dementia space cases, I'll say, we know that people can lose memory too. And often what's lost is most recent memory. So the most recent memory of a person is now living in this home, but they still think that they live in the childhood home, that they remember that memory, that long-term memory is still there. And suddenly the really basic things that have just been learned yesterday are not so easy to retain, right? So that's one aspect too. The other thing is about just in terms of communication, right? So this whole idea of some people really want to remember only all the good things that have ever happened in any situation, and they will talk about it as if only good things have ever happened. And other people want to remember only the not so good things, and they'll talk about it as only not good things, right? So this is a really important awareness of our minds to have too. So Smrithi as memory has both recall and retention. So it can hold, it's that ability to hold. And that's also a skill, right? So if we need to know how to walk and we can hold that memory of understanding how we're walking, It's a big deal, right? We know that anyone who goes through surgeries that changes the function of how they use any limb, right? Limb, anything. If we think about fingers, we think about toes, any aspect that has had something change to the mechanical memory of that takes some retraining, right? Same thing happens in the psychological realm, that when something has been trained again and again and again, it takes a little bit of time to untrain that. And that untraining brings us back to a really clear space. And with that, I wanted to finish on this quotation so that you know, and you know, this is the work that I do. So, of course, I'm very excited about sharing it with you. But this quotation says, it's by Frederick Lenz, and it says, if you meditate, your mind will become razor sharp. Your memory and retention will be superb. New talents and abilities will begin to unfold. You will become younger each day, yet wiser. Younger each day. Can you imagine that? So imagine if you can think of what is that youth coming from, that wisdom, that innocence, that's what makes a person feel younger, that space. And yes, I strongly believe that meditation can bring us to this space. It certainly has helped lots of people that I'm familiar with, and certainly myself too. And I suspect it could help you too. But today, I would love for you to sit for 5 minutes and maybe meditate on memory. And how is your memory? And what are the things that you hold on to like a treasure, even if they're not good? And I would love for you to do that for 5 minutes after this video. And I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.